Have you ever been asked a thoughtful question in a high-stakes meeting, pitch, or presentation and almost instantly regretted your response the moment you walked out of the room? It sucks, right? And it can leave you in this state of rumination, even days later, wondering about what you could have said differently, wondering about what you could have done differently. And if you are nodding your head, my friend, I've got you. And hey, it's a good thing because one, it shows you're human. And two, this is exactly what we're going to talk about today. How to answer any question with charisma. And hey, by the way, what's up? How you doing? My name's Ravi Rajani. And over the past 4.5 years, I've worked with organizations such as Oracle NetSuite, Spotify, Sherwin-Williams, and more. And what I've noticed in the salespeople I've trained, in the leaders that I've worked with, is the ones who are perceived as leaders by their peers, by their customers, by their partners, they all do this one thing. They all do this one thing when they answer impactful questions. And today I'm going to show you what that one thing is. How am I going to show you? Through the lens of Steve Jobs back in 1992 when he was asked a thoughtful question under pressure. And he did this one thing. So it seems like everyone's doing this one thing. So, hey, I want to teach you the one thing. So let's get into the one thing. Let's get into it. Now, here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to watch this 1 minute and 30-second clip back together. It's not that long. Don't complain, okay? 90 seconds. A 90-second clip. We're going to watch it in its entirety, and then we're going to run it back, rewind, and then hit pause at the most impactful moments and talk through what I'm seeing, okay? Talk through what I'm seeing. So, hey, let's get into it.
A few more, and yeah.
What's the most important thing that you personally learned at Apple that you're doing it next?
Good question. I'm not sure I learned this when I was at Apple, but I learned it based on the data when I was at Apple. And that is, I now take a longer-term view on people. In other words, when I see something not being done right, my first reaction isn't to go fix it. It's to say, we're building a team here, and we're going to do great stuff for the next decade, not just the next year. And so what do I need to do to help so that the person that's screwing up learns versus how do I fix the problem? And that's painful sometimes. And I still have that first instinct to go fix the problem, but that's taking a longer-term view on people is probably the biggest thing that's changed. And then I don't know, that's, maybe the part that's biological, but yes.
Brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant. That clip is 1 minute, 35 seconds, and there are so many learnings from it. So let's hit rewind. That was me and my rewind button. And let's take a look at what we're seeing.
More, and yeah.
What's the most important thing that you personally learned at Apple that you're doing it next?
Good question.
So he starts with, in response to the question, good question. Now, a lot of people think filler words are bad. They think they're pure evil. I have a different stance on it. For me, I don't think filler words are good or bad. I think it's all about context. And that context is, what is the frequency of that filler word within a specific duration of time? So Steve Jobs, in that example, uses one filler word. As a result, it sounds natural. It sounds very natural to me. So for example, if you ask me, what are you doing this weekend, Rav? And I said, probably hanging out with the kids. Yeah, probably hanging out with the kids. What about you? That sounds natural because I'm genuinely thinking about what I'm doing on the weekend. That is human. However, if I did this in response to you asking me what I'm up to this weekend, if I did this, um, I, I'm not sure. Very different. Sounds like I'm lying. Sounds like I'm covering something up, doesn't it? A high frequency within a very specific duration of time, and all of a sudden, you have a lack of confidence in me and a lack of confidence in what I'm saying, which decreases my credibility stock. We don't want that. It's not a good look for you, and it's definitely not a good look for the future version of you if you still continue doing that. So, filler words, it's not good or bad. It's all about context. For those of you listening on the podcast, audio only, Steve Jobs has just paused. He's doing nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing. Let's see how long he does nothing for.
I'm not sure I learned this when.
Wow. So when I say nothing, actually, I need to be more precise here. He's not doing nothing. He's showing through silence the human being who asked that question. He's showing them, wow, this question has stopped me in my tracks. And he's allowing him to actually think through a thoughtful and meaningful response versus giving a knee-jerk reaction, which when the spotlight is under you or on you, you really want to do that. You just want to go and just verbal vomit any response that comes to you. But that, by the way, was approximately, don't quote me, approximately a 17-second pause. Now, whether it's a salesperson, a leader, or executive, the people who I partner with, they struggle to pause even if it's for a few seconds. And the truth is, 3 seconds in the external world can feel like 30 seconds in your internal world. I get it. So this shows deep confidence. This shows deep confidence. And he's actually doing something extremely charismatic. Now, for me, charisma is defined as making somebody feel significant in your presence. That's true charisma for me. So what is he doing? By pausing, he's showing respect to their question, and he's giving himself the time to breathe, to think of a thoughtful response. That is charismatic. A pause in this context is charismatic. So, hey, my question to you, my friend, is how can you embody a pause when being asked questions under pressure? So you can give yourself the space to breathe and give the person opposite you, aka your conversation partner, the respect that they deserve for asking you a thought-provoking question. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean, the pause in itself just is such a powerful and overlooked communication strategy. Try it. And it's hard. At first, it will be hard. But the more you do it, it's like a muscle. It will build over time, and you will then normalize pausing for 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. It will feel very normal to you. And then he says the following.
I now take a longer-term view on people.
I now take a longer-term view on people, meaning he didn't before. He didn't before. So he's actually showcasing emotional maturity in his leadership there, which is brilliant.
In other words, when I see something not being done right, my first reaction isn't to go fix it.
Meaning back in the day, his reaction was what? To go fix things, to try and be the superhero of the moment.
It's to say, we're building a team here and we're going to do great stuff for the next decade, not just the next year. And
that's brilliant. Building something for the next decade, not just the next year. He is showing you that he has a long-term mindset without shoving it down your throat. That's a beautiful way to show somebody your value system without telling them. Show me your value system. Don't tell me. Show me. And you're showing me in this sense through the spoken word.
And so what do I need to do to help so that the person that's screwing up learns versus how do I fix the problem. And that's painful sometimes. And I still have that first instinct to go fix the problem, but
I still have that first instinct to go fix the problem. In this moment, I feel he really humanizes himself and he makes himself relatable to everybody in the room. He's like, listen, I'm just like you. I still get that instant urge to go fix something. But now I realize my job is to serve and support the human being opposite me because I now have a longer term view around developing people. He's showcasing emotional maturity. He's showcasing a transformation, but he's being vulnerable here, saying, hey, I'm just like you. I still get that urge as well today. Now, if you're ever asked a question similar to this, a really simple framework to answer it is, here's what I used to think. Here's what the previous version of me used to think. Here's how I think about it today. And here's what I've learned through that experience. Past, present, core takeaway. Past, present, core takeaway. Here's what I used to think. Here's what I now think. And here's what I've learned along the way. A really powerful 3-step framework for answering a question with confidence and charisma. And when under pressure, to ensure you don't verbal vomit and you use brevity, a simple framework like that will help you curate your thoughts and deliver them in a confident way. Now, Steve Jobs actually ends with a little joke. He ends with a little joke. Let's listen to it.
That's taking a longer term view on people is probably the biggest thing that's changed. And then I don't know, that's, maybe the part that's biological. But
little chuckle from the audience. So what I invite you to do, my friend, is to not get infobese after watching this video, meaning sitting, absorbing, and doing absolutely nothing with the learnings from today's video podcast episode. Do something with the learnings because knowledge isn't power. Knowledge that is actioned is power. And hey, when it comes to unearthing your charisma, asking conscious questions, telling magnetic stories, if your team needs support with this specific skill, you know where to find me. Head on down to theravirajani.com/speaking to learn more about how I can support you. But anyhow, let me know in the comments, how does this connect with you? And what is your go-to framework for answering questions with charisma? I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Peace.